Okay, boys and girls, today we are going to look at literary devices and sensory language. So, what are literary devices? They are literary terms to make writing better. They say one thing, but actually mean another, and authors use them to make their writing more interesting. So, these are some sayings that you might have heard people say before. I am so hungry, I could eat a horse. Now, they don't really mean they're actually gonna eat a horse. That just means that they are very, very hungry. It's raining cats and dogs outside. It doesn't really mean that cats and dogs are coming from the sky. It just simply means that it is raining very hard. The baby was as clean as a whistle. That doesn't mean the baby was a whistle. It just means that the baby was extremely clean. He is such a couch potato. That doesn't mean he's like a potato sitting on a couch. That just means that he is lazy. So there are many types of literary devices or figurative language out there. But for today's purposes for the video, we are going to focus on just 4 of them. We're going to be looking at similes, metaphors, onomatopoeia, and personification. So let's take a look at each one individually. Okay, one type of figurative language is called a simile. This is where I compare 2 things, but I have to use the words either like or as in my sentence when I'm comparing. So here's an example. He is as tall as a giraffe. Now that doesn't mean that that person is actually as tall as a giraffe. What that simply means is that that person or he is extremely tall. And you can see that I use the word as. So this would be an example of a simile. Now, a metaphor is a comparison in which one thing is said to be another. I don't use the words like or as in the sentence. So let's look at an example below. My mom is a teddy bear. Now that doesn't actually mean that the mom is a teddy bear. It just means she is like a teddy bear. Okay, she might be cuddly and kind, like a teddy bear would be. Okay, the next one I want to look at is onomatopoeia. This is a word that imitates the sound it represents. And there's some examples below. Splash, pop, bang. Those are all sound words. So in a sentence, I might say something like the bubble went pop. And then we're going to look at personification. This is giving human qualities to animals or objects. So let's look at the example they've given us. The stars winked at me. Now the stars didn't actually wink at the person. They're probably trying to say that maybe the stars were sparkling at them, but they weren't actually winking at them. Okay, now let's move on to sensory language. And sensory language is words or phrases that connect to the 5 senses and describes how something looks, smells, tastes, feels, or sounds. Authors use this in their writing and in poetry to make their writing more interesting. So let's look at the different 5 senses and some examples for each. So an example of sight, someone might write, the tiny red ant climbed up the broken twig. An example for smell, the sweet smell of freshly baked apple filled the air. Taste, one bite of the sour lemon caused my lips to pucker. Sound, the car squeaked every time I hit a bump in the road. Touch, The sharp edge of the paper cut my finger and made it sting. So all of these sentences below are an example of a something that appeals to the different senses. And I'm going to show you an example in just a minute. So I have pulled up this poem called State Fair, and it's actually going to appeal to all 5 of your senses. I'm going to read it first to you, and then we are going to fill out a little graphic organizer together. State Fair, the energy. Thousands of people swarming about, moms pushing strollers, couples holding hands, teenagers bored with excitement, kids running back and forth around in circles, laughing, screaming, hot and sweaty. Everything at once. Auto show, caramel apples, nachos, farm animals, extreme rides, squeal in delight, announcing the beginning of a show, ice cream, funnel cake, BMX bike show, pig races, spin the wheel, toss the rings, shoot the ball, I won, stuff the Snoopy under my arm, chili and cheese fries, Texas Skyway, thirsty, dusty, and dirty. Eyes wide open, big Tex smiles and waves. Howdy, folks. Cotton candy corn dogs. Each ride sings its own music. Ferris wheel stops at the top. Hurry, hurry, step right up. Sticky and sunburned. Long day ending. One more ride on the carousel. Enough of the fried food, the sweet cakes, the voices and laughter of 1,000 people fading away. Slowing down, dragging feet, dragging Snoopy, hot and sweaty, sticky, sunburned, dusty. So now I'm going to pull up a little graphic organizer for us to look at. And I am going to, or I have jotted down a few things from the poem that appealed to all my senses. My sense of seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching. So let's take a look at the first box, see. And these are some examples of some words that I felt appealed to my sense of sight. I see thousands of people. I see teenagers. I see kids running. Now go to the next box. These are some things that I noticed that appeal to my sense of hearing. I hear screaming and laughing. I hear farm animals. I hear people squealing. Now let's look at taste. These are some things that the poet wrote that appeal to my sense of taste. I taste the cotton candy and the corn dogs. Smell. These are some things that appeal to my sense of smell. I smell fried food and sweet cakes. I smell chili cheese fries. And then the last one, touch. These are some things that I read that appeal to my sense of touch. I'm touching the rings when I play the ring toss. I'm touching the balls that I shoot when I'm playing the games. So that was an example of a poem that appealed to all 5 senses. Not everything that you read in poetry or in a book will appeal to all 5 senses, but some of them will, and it makes the writing a lot more interesting. Now you will practice figurative and sensory language on your own. Good luck.